Oh, hi. I thought I heard you at the door. How you doing? Doing okay today? All right, see you later. You want to do some crafting? Hey everybody, I am in the workshop and I'm doing a bit of cleaning up. I'm sure it always feels like I'm saying that, but it's kind of true. I have a large pile in the floor because I've been working on some fun packs, and I made a huge fun journal out of my fun pack. I'm going to be traveling soon. I think this is the book I'm going to be carrying, so it's pretty big. I do love this though. Got an old book cover and lots of fun charms, and it's pretty junky. Pretty junky. It's got fabric and paper pages. While we're standing here, let's say hello to my sweet grandmother. She was sweet. She was really pretty. Look at her skin. So in the picture where she's older, I think she was almost 90 there. Look how beautiful her skin was. She was really pretty. One of the things that I'm working on right now is gluing some pages into this journal that I made. I love this journal. It's really big. It's bigger than most of the journals that I make for a project like this. I didn't mean for it to get quite so big, but it does have 4 signatures, and I decided to use every scrap of everything from this fun kit or fun pack. And this is going to be my traveling journal for this week. Part of the fun kit this time is a stack of these beautifully colored book pages. They're old. The coloring, it almost looks like an old postcard. So there are some beautiful scenery images. Let's see, what have I done with it? There are some pretty black and white images as well. Maybe you can see that. Some really lovely images of people. I love that. So each pack has got a page of someone in a hat. Oh, and look, there were some sections about Spain. It's different people of the British Isles and Western Europe. So it's been just a really fun stack of pages to work with. The workshop is always changing, it seems like. I buy so many items and I have to constantly rearrange. I'm always making fun packs, and some things don't really change in here, like the shelf that all of my journals are on. That's pretty much the same. Now, I do have plans for the dollhouse if I can just get to it. I need to sell some of the books from there, so hopefully I can get to that soon. One thing I did do today, let's just pan around here and show you my desk. If you will notice, it's out further from the wall than it normally is. I had this antique ironing board that I mentioned recently. So it is standing behind my art table, and the sewing machine is in the same place. I still have this nice storage chest over here, and that's got all sorts of supplies in it. And then underneath the table, I have gesso, and I have all sorts of acrylic paints. And then on this side, I have different kinds of paper. What I wanted to do though was give myself some room behind the art desk so that I can, have room to actually create. Sometimes I am so crowded because I pull things down, from this thing or the storage things on the wall or over here. I don't know that I will leave it this way, but for now, I really do like it a lot. You can see, of course, my lights for filming. I have all sorts of things around me all the time. Sometimes I wonder if it's too much, but it makes me really, really happy. The suitcase has got spooky stuff. The basket up there, you can see the empty cat litter bag. That is stuff for my current trash journal. I always have one or two of those going on. I have my inspiration station over there, all sorts of magazines and articles that I've cut out. The fun packs, of course, that I worked with today. And, oh, let me fix this. That would drive my mom crazy. The water is for cleaning brushes and stuff. I don't drink that water. Let's see. That's pretty much everything. You can see the big trashy journal down here that I'm working on. And that, I love to sit out here. And I've got this little bead chest. I can just put my coffee or whatever on that while I'm looking through a magazine. And then the chair swivels around, which is really nice, and I can pull it over and just sew all day when I need to. But I did want to show you just the few upgrades that I've done. Maybe you wouldn't even call them upgrades. It's more like things just getting moved around. I see a little bare spot on the wall, and you know, we just can't have that, so maybe I will find something else to put up. One thing I did do, so this picture right here, you will see that's on a large clip, and that way I can change around. I can have like a showpiece or current inspiration or whatever it is that can be changed up. I still have my framed art, lots of things hanging around, different little items from subscribers and friends and family. And this little shelf, I've got some of the dolls that I made and some of my stamps I like to look at. There's also current inspiration in there and a lot of postage stamps. This is where I work on my ephemera packs. I do have fabric packs in the shop if anybody's interested, and what I do is just routinely pile up scraps and remnants and samples that you can use in your journaling, and I weigh them out and put them in a bag. And I do have fabric packs and ephemera packs in the shop. Let's see. This is one of my current art journals, and I think I added that's what I was working on this morning. I'm not sure if she's done. She might be. It's good to practice every day. There is such a different setup with the desk like this. I'm going to have to be careful to make sure that my journal or whatever stays in frame. This journal turned out way bigger than I thought it was going to be. I do love it, and I'm not planning to work in this forever and ever, so it's about a 4-inch spine. It could be done today as far as I'm concerned, because it's just so much fun to look at. That said, I'm going to be traveling this week, and Jay, I hope it's okay if I say we're going on one of our outings together. Jay is a good friend of mine that I met through the channel, actually, and through her art. We both have channels, and we had one outing together. Didn't really take a trip together, but this will be more like a trip sort of in a different place. Anyway, I digress. I'll tell you the way I'm planning to use it. It's going to be full of souvenirs. Travel souvenirs. Look, I pinned this little tiny change purse in the front so that if I find any rusty washers or anything like that, I have a place to put those. I have a pocket in the front, and you can see that's the fabric that had the leaves on it. So I cut 2 leaves out and just glued one in the front and one in the back. Obviously, my book cover is a little bit different from the ones in the kits. This one is one that I've had in my stash for a while, and I have quite a few book covers that I just keep put up so that if I get in the mood to make a journal like this. This was really pretty simple to make the cover. The heavy paper that was in the kit, it was more like chipboard. I just cut a 4-inch spine and cut it to the same height as the book covers. I basically cut a piece of fabric to go over the front. It started on this cover, went across that centerpiece, and then ended on this cover. And you maybe can see here, I didn't go too far out onto the book because I really wanted to preserve these images on the inside of my book covers. The book covers that are in the kit, you don't have to use those the way I've used them. And if you have a more decorative book cover that you want to use, you can do this just like I did it. You can just glue this fabric, and you know, once again, this is a piece of fabric cut to the same size as what's on the outside, and it's just glued down. I think one of the reasons that I love the tacky glue so much is that it does grab pretty quickly. I think it holds really well. There's a little loose corner. I felt that when I was turning the book over. I just want to glue that down. So here's my very first page. I've already cut some words out, and that's another thing you can do with those music scores. If they're too old, like you don't want to fold them and make pages, cut the words out and use those. You can see where I've pulled labels from the fabric samples, and then like here, so I have I wish, and I've got part of an image here. It didn't print right, so I only had part of the image, and I put I wish to do the top of her head. And then like here, I wish to have a great trip. And I'm gonna go ahead and put today's date, because I'm really gearing up for this trip, and I'm getting ready, I'm packing, I'm doing all sorts of stuff. I will probably take Sharpies, and hopefully Jay and I can do some art together and have some videos for you of some of the things that we do. I'm not going to spend just a huge amount of time going through here. I will tell you some of the things you will recognize, you know, some of the different book pages, like the music books and the book from, you know, the book about the pubs, and then fabric. I just cut strips up and glued them in between some of the pages to help reinforce them. You can see I made tabs out of that sort of faux leather. I did punch the craft knife, what are they called? I punched that through both pieces to be able to put this brad in. There's one of the lovely images with that color. And you can see I've just gone ahead and glued in a lot of the fabric. I wanted this thing to be ready to go. I'm probably going to take some watercolor paper with me, and I'm not taking paint, but I'll have a little container for water, maybe a spray bottle. And I do want to have some sort of color with me, whether it's watercolor crayons or paintbrushes, watercolor pencils. I will have brushes, but I'm just not gonna take liquid paint. But I wanted this to be ready to go so that if I sit and sketch or do some art faces for my art journaling, I love this. That's Portugal. I can just do them, finish them, glue them into here, and I'm going to be able to write notes with Sharpies about where we had meals, you know, craft time in wherever, if we find a place, whether it's outside at a table or, you know, a lobby. This is something new to me, really, kind of using fabric as just outright book pages. I don't always do that, or I don't usually do that. But I decided to this time. I'm going to take some safety pins with me, and it's going to be really fun maybe to safety pin things as well into this book. So if, you know, I'm not pressured to write on every page. I don't feel like I have to fill this up. It's already full. There, of course, is the little pocket, or the card envelope. That was a Christmas Starbucks gift card container. I've got that safety pinned onto this fabric page. And again, that can hold ticket stubs. It can hold rusty washers from parking lots. I've glued this and that in. That is from just some trash that was on the desk. And I've got bits of fabric in here if I need those. My plan is just to probably do a lot of collecting, a lot of gluing, a lot of practicing of face drawing and gluing that in. And so that's, you know, you can see these are getting pretty fat. Like the pages are starting to really have to fold around this chunk of papers. So that's 2 signatures. But I'm not going to worry about that, because again, I'm not going to be doing a lot of work like I normally do in my art journal. This is kind of a chunky, junky junk/art journal. And I really wanted it to feel full. I wanted it to be pretty to look at and fun to travel with. I can just tuck things in here and they kind of get lost, or they feel at home in this big bunch of stuff. So there's my long piece that it was the sample fabric with the embroidery. I glued it down, and I'm just letting that sort of hang out in the back because it could be a placeholder if I wanted it to. You know, if I'm working on a couple of pages and I want to keep my place later, or if I'm, you know, I can use it like a bookmark is what I'm saying. And more fabric, just little bits and pieces, more of those beautiful book pages. You can see where I took a lot of my fabric and folded it over and stapled it into place to make tabs. There's the paper with the cherubs or the angels, and you can see the old music scores. So one of the things I did was glue these fabric strips in to help support and, you know, reinforce those pages. Let's see here. There's the piece of homemade paper or handmade paper that was in my pack. That's a little different than the one I showed you on the video from the fun packs. It's just fun, and I think it's fun to challenge yourself with, you know, items that just like, wow, I have this stack of stuff in front of me. What should I do with it? And you could use tape. You could use that really fun duct tape like I used on the most recent Trashy journal. Just so much fun. And I've got some more getting ready for this, for the trip. Like, I'm not completely packed. Whew, I got a lot of glue on that, I guess. But that's okay. It's things like that that make it fun. And okay, so I didn't like the cover on that. It's Frank Sinatra. I don't dislike him, but I wanted a more feminine image. I wanted something that was more artsy. So I took the very last bit of that paper I had with Frida Kahlo and glued it on here. And then there's an old book page. And of course you can use your own supplies to add to your, the kit. I'm just gonna leave that hanging out. I glued fabric pieces in here just whatever. There's another music score, and this is a fun page. So there is this was one of the book pages that you could just leave it like it is, like it was just folded. And that's not from the kit, that's just from some stuff I had, and I put this old image down into this pocket. So there's another pocket to put things in, more fabric, and just a lot of places to glue things. I'm definitely going to be taking more safety pins, either watercolor crayons or watercolor pencils. I'm going to take my tacky glue, of course, scissors, something to put water in with a lid, of course, and just have fun. I definitely want my glue sticks and maybe even the tacky glue, so that, and safety pins and paper clips, if I didn't say that. So this is just going to be a really fun journal to document things. There's the other half of Frank Sinatra. And so yeah, there we are at the very back. There's just a string there. I might find something I want to attach to that. And I do love the way I was able to put the safety pins through the fabric, you know, between this centerpiece of cardboard and here. You've got a strip here that's just fabric, because I didn't, you know, butt the cover and the center right up next to each other. There is some space there. And of course these charms are going to get tangled up, but you know, part of the fun is untangling these and just looking at all of these things. So, oh yeah, you'll have, you know, if you choose to bind if you make a journal, you could do anything. You could make a big collage. You could make some sort of, you could do so much with the fun packs. So anyway, well, I'm going to stop for now. Jason he's been out joy riding today on his motorcycle, and he's back, and we're going to be eating soon. We've got some chicken that he's going to do in the skillet or on the green egg, and we have some leftover mashed potatoes that we're going to fry into a really crispy potato cake. We've got salad, tiny bit of chard. I've also got iced tea in the house, which is really good, and I have some Fritos and onion dip that I really would like to have as an hors d'oeuvre. Like, not that I need that, but you know. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I will see you really soon. Bye for now.